let's look at the shopping example first. I included that because it's a bit easier to understand than all the physics and mechanics stuff. So this lady's been on a shopping spree and she spent 30,000 and something euros. Who cares about the small change? And she still wants to add some Rolex watches. I'm gonna make room for that. Look what I'm doing. I'm positioning my cursor at the edge so I can just drag it over here, and here I'm gonna write the Rolex watches, and she's bought 4 at 18,000 each. And here, rather than manually entering a formula, I'm going to copy the formula here. This formula, as you've understood by now, always look at the top bar, the formula bar. It says B5 times C5, so B5 times C5, and here we need to have B6 times C6. And one of the nice things about Excel is if I go copy and then paste, then it will automatically adjust the formula. Isn't that wonderful? This one hasn't been adjusted. It's not that smart. It's still, if I press F2, I can see it still refers only to the top 3 items and not the 4th. So I need to manually add the 4th, adding a plus sign. Then I'm clicking on field D6, I'm pressing enter, and I have the total. To convert it to US dollars, start entering a formula is always the equal sign. I have this number, D7, and I multiply by 119. Bingo. And if I want to do a really nice job, I can say go format cells and change the currency to US dollars. That would be nicer. This example relates to the book. The blue are input fields, data. It's not obligatory. You can give it any color you want, but this is just a bit easier. They're just data. Look at the top bar, you just see numbers. And here we see formulas. Here we have a formula. Here we have a formula. It's a nice little puzzle to look at the text in a book and see how they relate. And here's the final result. Apparently it is, press F2, it is B7, the gravitational potential energy divided by the mass times 10. There you go. Next example, here we wanted to add a graph and first calculating some numbers. This is like you drop a ball from 50 meters high and what's the speed at which it hits the ground. Now I could change this to 10 and I get a value here. I manually copy it, but manual copying is always prone to mistakes, so I'm going to do it a little bit smarter. I'm moving this out of the way, and let's put all the heights I want to calculate here, 30 and 40 and 50, and I also need them here, but here I'm just going to link them to these values. There you go. And if I copy this, this is going to be linked to the top row. So if I put 31 here, this one will change too. The calculation results, these are all formulas. So if I go Control Copy, I'm going to copy all this, copy and paste it here. I get the correct answers at the bottom. I also need the answers here. So this equals this one, and I'm going to copy that, copy, I'm going to paste it, and I have all the results here. See, they correspond one by one, and it's smarter because if I change something here, it changes throughout. 30, 24, 49. To add in a graph, select the data, insert, and I wanted, there was in the instruction, a scatter graph, speed on impact. There you go, speed on impact. And then you had to add some access titles, and I believe you can do that. Oh, if you want to print something like this, don't print it from Excel. It's always going to be messy unless you're really good at it. The easiest way is to take a screenshot. Here's my snipping tool, and I make a new snip, and this is the stuff I want to print, for example. Hopla, I'm gonna copy and paste that in a Word document, and that's always much easier to print. So this is just a little hint. And this is the final example. Here are the data already. The kinetic energy is half times mass times speed square. So I'm going to enter equals 1/2 times mass times speed square. Speed. And the square, suppose I forgot the formula, I'm just going to multiply it 2 times, so I get the square. And to get to the braking force, I divide the kinetic energy by the distance. So equals this over distance. And that's the result. And you were asked to use which values? These values. 600 and 12 meters per second. So this is the final answer. Thanks for watching.